Hello, and welcome to another Requel Pitch podcast. I'm Tyler, and today we're talking full-on, not going to bury the lead, reboot. And I know that sometimes we say movies and series, but this one could be either. Today, I'm jumping to Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. I've always had a connection with Abe Lincoln. I was born on February 12th. Same as his birthday, so growing up I was like, oh, you have the same birthday as Lincoln. And I always found him a little interesting, okay? I have an interesting book called Lincoln's Melancholy that was like recordings and discussions of Lincoln's mental health. So when this book came out, I was like, what the heck? And my friend bought it for me. And I had gotten it, and I hadn't got to start reading it, and my wife, she had a medical procedure and was basically sleeping, and I stayed up and watched over her like all day and night, and I read the book in one sitting. And I really found the book fascinating in the way it was framed, with historical events really weaved in there and this very kind of quiet deeds. And I was like, wow, this is written and with some interesting twists, like when Lincoln meets Poe and Poe's death and things. I'm like, this could be such an interesting, plausible story. And then they decided they were going to make a movie on it. And I revisited the book. And as I'm reading the book again, I'm looking at the cast, I'm like, who are these people? And then I'm like, but it's written by Seth Grahame-Smith. You know, the author of the book is authoring this film. And dear Lord, the movie and the book are two completely different stories. I mean, holy crap. The only thing that's the same is Abe Lincoln. Vampires. I'm not going to go into all the stuff the movie did wrong compared to the book, because we'd be here, that would be a review. And that is not what we're here for. But honestly, because Seth Grahame-Smith made some books for a while there. He was doing good. He had Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, which, ended up being a movie. And I think he read, like, Sense and Sensibility and Sea Monsters. And then, Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, which was different because it wasn't taking a book and adding something. It was, like, adding this secret history of Abe Lincoln. And I think that you could tell a really unique supernatural political thriller, historical, with this story, and you make it more believable about what Abe was doing, but you add in the vampire elements. Because that is what made the book so fascinating, was the twist at the end of the book, which I won't give away, which I would have loved to have seen on film. And this idea of legacy of his actions. I think the movie had a great cast in Benjamin as Lincoln. But, I mean, the way, like, he chopped down the tree and the lore, like, it baffles me how much, if you're the creator of something, you change your creations. Like, you had an idea and you wrote two different distinct stories. A film version that changes everything, and then a book. So it boggles the mind. I just think that there is an interesting thing here, and because the first film was not well received, it's actually the first review I ever wrote for IMDb, because I was so just pissed at it. I would say your next best choice would be to do it as like a mini series TV show. I think that's also the best way to find the balance of the vampires, the historical context, and just the political atmosphere. You know, that they, in the film, I will give it this credit that they gave the idea of slavery was important to the vampires because it helped give them, blood to drink and all that, and without people worrying about where these missing people are going. Abe's abolishment of slavery was, motivated by the vampires, which I get that in a movie, but it's kind of cool in, just genuine human rights that he did it because that's the right thing to do. But I do find it funny that that movie came out very similar to the time that Lincoln by Spielberg did. So, but anyways, just do the book. It's one I want to revisit again. I haven't read it in years. Just do the book. That whole oh my God, this could be real. Lincoln could have been hunting vampires all those years while, in office. And I do like the fact that when Booth is hunted after killing Lincoln, it's pretty awesome and intent by Lincoln's vampire friend, which is a great character, and he has his own story, which would be, that would be my second season pitch, I guess you could say, because it would be awesome to see him introduced in Abraham Lincoln Vampire, and then the second season you go back and tell the story of how he came to be.